Sound check, sound check. And we're here, everyone. Welcome to the return of the Behind the Counter podcast, the 2020 return. We are live here at the Insane Games studio, live on Insane Games TV. Much different look here for Behind the Counter to the critically acclaimed and the original show here for Insane Games TV.
And the wettest.
And the wettest. Behind the Counter. You may look, it's just Dan and Mike here. Dan, Mike. Tyler and Dave are still very much with us. It's just we kind of talking a little bit about what is Insane Games and, you know, where we're going here and what it is that we're doing for the overall channel is that we all kind of branched off. You know, Dave obviously is still with the Weekend Wednesday. He does some Insane Game live shows. He has a Sunday show that he's been doing on the channel. Tyler, part of the Ring the Bell podcast with myself. Also, the No Look podcast with AC Weezy. So he has, and he has a couple different shows. So we're very much all still here. It's just we've morphed into a much bigger project and a much bigger concept that we're all excited to be part of. And that's kind of what's getting into the purpose. Let's talk about Insane Games TV a little bit. This is somewhat of our premiere week here on the channel. We got Retro Monday debuting next with Mike right here on the channel. Monday Night Gaming up next with AC Weezy, or later tonight. But the concept here of Insane Game TV is to have a live channel that focuses on anything from video games to sports to pop culture, life here around the store. So it's kind of different what we're trying to put together and mix it all into one. So we have the live concept of it here on Insane Games TV _ on Twitch. Also, you can watch us on Insane Games TV Facebook Gaming, which we just launched this week as well. But also, we have all of our content that's on YouTube. We have all of our content that goes on Instagram, that goes on Twitter. But mostly we're here live here on the Twitch and Facebook Gaming platforms. So we're excited about that. We have a lot of different shows. As I mentioned, obviously we have Behind the Counter, which is one of our first shows here on the network. We also have Retro Gaming, which is after us here tonight with Mike, which focuses on all different, obviously, retro concepts. What's the big game for tonight?
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Not the stupid one with Mr. Dream. Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Specifically.
Not the stupid one, Mike said. So Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's coming up next on right here on the NES. We got AC Weezy finishing out tonight with Monday Night Gaming. He's going to be going over all the highlights and clips for all the playoff games from this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about those in a minute. But he's going to go over that tonight. Also, I believe he's playing. He's been on Call of Duty the last couple of streams, so I think he's still up to date in playing Call of Duty with that. So he's going to finish out the night. But then on Tuesday, we got our Nerd Glasses podcast with Dave and Boder, two Behind the Counter alumni. So they'll be streaming the podcast tomorrow. And Boder has the Citadel stream that he's doing tomorrow, which he likes to go back and makes fun of some of the older games that were duds or weren't a big hit, and he likes to go back and can treat them and figure out what's wrong with them and go over that. So that's Tuesday. We got our Power Wednesday, where we got the we got the Ring the Bell podcast with Tyler and myself, the No Look podcast with Tyler and AC Weezy and special guest Hannah Cook, and then we got Dave finishing out the night with the Weekend Wednesday. I believe he said he's playing Resident Evil 2. So this Wednesday, join him in the cult for all that. That's what they're doing in their usual Wednesday shenanigans. So that's all taking place Wednesday. Thursday, we got Thirsty Thursdays with AC Weezy again. And then we got the Call of Duty stream on Friday. Insane Game Live is on Saturday and Sunday. So we got a lot of stuff. And we got a couple more shows that are going to be coming up next week. 2v Tuesdays, the Dream Team. So we got a lot of different stuff. Maybe a Minecraft stream. So we got a lot of stuff in the works. So definitely excited about that. And then obviously we have all of our live stream special events. We had the Call of Duty event that just took place last week. Insane Games got annihilated. It was a disgrace, but it was a bloodbath. Completely ridiculous. But the overall event. What?
I held my own.
Did you?
Well, you're too scared to play, so
I'm too scared to play. I will come out of retirement just to play in the tournament if I have to.
Anytime we try to do gunfight here, you're not about it because you're scared. Scared.
I don't know.
Not excusing Tommy for his performance, but you do not get to say that.
If I need to come out of retirement from tournament play to show you why I am the true Call of Duty champion around this joint, I surely will. Because I am not that. Just because I don't like playing, just because I don't like playing the 2v2 gunfight, does not mean that I'm not good at it. Correction there.
The only evidence I have was you and Tommy going 1v1 at it, and I think we know who won.
Yeah,
we don't
barely
need to go into it. We don't need
barely
to go
won.
Into it.
I'll admit Tom won the battle. I mean, he barely won the battle. We all thought it was going to be a bloodbath, and it certainly wasn't.
Win's a win.
I don't know about that. Where's that controller? You have it? Yeah, so we have this. We have all of our special events that go on here at the channel. We just did a Call of Duty tournament a couple weeks ago. We have the next one coming up February 8th, live here at the store. Boder and Dave commentating. Obviously, Mike and Tom. We don't know yet for sure they're going to be representing Team Insane Game. We might have to have some qualifier, tryouts to figure out who's actually going to represent Team Insane Games during this tournament. And what we got here? We got a little Beagmaster talking Superbowl. I don't know who he's talking about, bald. But the logo does kind of look like the WrestleMania 2000 logo. It does actually kind of look like that. Not a bad point. And the Dream Team podcast, yes, next week for the Dream Team podcast. So we got a lot of stuff going on here at the channel, and obviously nothing new. We're always open. This channel, while we're streaming, we're open. So if you see us talking with customers, that's what we're here doing. We're also here running a store as well. So let's dive right into it, Mike. This weekend we had the recap of the NFL playoffs. Some major upsets, I believe. A lot of the home teams, the teams that had a home field advantage, walking out with losses besides the Texans.
Were they the upsets? Really?
New England, Titans. You would have picked the Titans over New England off the bat?
They lost to the Dolphins last week.
Okay. That New England always loses to the Dolphins. That's nothing new.
They've been looking bad, and the Titans are on fire. But I admit
they are on fire. I'll give you that.
It was a slight upset.
I mean, anyone you shouldn't be putting the Patriots and the Brady's and they're not going to make it because they always prove most of the time that they are going to make it.
Everyone's saying the dynasty's over now.
I don't know. I've heard that for 2 weeks. I heard, Tom Brady's going to go. First off, my opinion, Tom Brady's going to play 2020 season.
That's what I think.
He's going to play. The question is, what are the Patriots going to do? Do they want to invest in him one more year, or do they want to eventually move on? You can't fault them for wanting to move on. They're their franchise. The Patriots can't live around Tom Brady the rest of their life, and Tom Brady only has a few years left. But I think if Tom Brady were to go to an organization that has a solid front line, solid wide receivers, tight ends, and maybe a decent running back, I think they can carry Tom Brady.
I think they're more of a pair. I think if Tom Brady goes anywhere else, it'll be terrible.
You think so? You don't think
I think he's
going
to do another year or so in the Patriots. I don't think he's done there.
I don't think they're just going to let him leave.
Yeah.
They'll definitely offer him something. The question is, are they going to offer what Tom Brady wants?
I think it's part of the system with the Bill Belichick and the coaches. That's why he's so good. And this year, a lot of the weapons weren't there, so...
True.
Seeing another year and another draft might change some things, but... Let's say it's getting close to the end of it.
What do you think about the Tennessee Titans? Are they really a threat in the playoffs, or is that just...
They're hot, but now that they're going to go against the Baltimore Ravens...
Can Tannehill really keep them going?
It's all about Lamar Jackson. No shot in that game. If they were taking a different path, maybe, but since they have the Ravens.
I kind of said, looking back at it, I was kind of like, can Tannehill really keep... Tannehill, just a couple years ago, is he really that good, though?
I didn't say I said he's not bad.
But I said he's really good, though. I mean, so if I'm saying he's really that good and you're saying he's really that bad, what does he qualify as?
Well, Derrick Henry ran the ball 34 times against the Patriots, and Tannehill only passed for under 100 yards, so you only need someone who's serviceable right now.
It's true.
But Tannehill has had some really good games the last couple weeks.
They're on a hot... how many wins in a row are they on right now? 4?
I don't know, but
I'm looking at it.
I think it's more so that New England's defense was ridiculous going against the passing game of the Titans. And they didn't really need the pass with 180 yards out of Derrick Henry.
I'm looking it up. What's their record? Well, I know their record. It's 9-7, but how many wins in a row they had? Of course it doesn't say.
They were on fire. Who did they? They lost to somebody.
Oh, here they are. Well, they lost. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Wait, what is this?
What are you even looking at, Don?
This isn't it. I thought they had it here. Oh, here we go. No, again, not it. This thing give me like every stat but the one I want. Now, I don't know what their win-loss was. I know there was 9-7. I don't know how many in a row. I thought they had a bunch in a row, but this site's giving me like every possible stat.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
And every possible score except for their win-loss record.
Oh, well, they lost against Houston in Week 15, and they lost against the Saints in Week 16. So the biggest win, they're only on a 2-game win streak right now.
So there you go. So I was surprised New England lost. I thought New England was going to beat the Titans. I didn't think the Titans would even have a chance. I'm like, okay, they got some good luck with the Tannehill and so on, but I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that they lost. What did you think of the time strategy from the coach at the Titans?
They did seeing it because Bill Belichick did that to another team. I think it was either the Jets or the Dolphins, but yeah, seeing it used against him and him mouthing fucking bullshit.
Did you see that on the sideline? Screaming at the ref.
That was great.
And he was furious.
Obviously, it's a stupid rule how it's working, but if anyone deserved to get that, it was the Patriots.
It's true. So then we got actually the first game of the whole playoffs was the Bills-Texans. Those Bills, they went out, had a great start, and they just can't seal the deal. I mean,
the offense can never punch it in. Their defense was doing a good job. But
so who's to blame for that loss? Josh Allen?
Probably a little bit of everybody. The coach probably didn't help it either.
True. But I mean, I gotta
they
imagine
have good players. They have good players in all the offensive spots, so for them not to be scoring touchdowns, I mean, I guess it comes down to the play calling or
I've never been a fan of Josh Allen.
And performance of Josh Allen. He was pretty rough, but he's not the worst quarterback.
I mean, I've never had. I mean, he's been one of those. I mean, I think the coach is good. I like Sean McDermott. I think he's a decent coach. I think he's the right coach for that team.
Yeah, I've seen good moments from him.
But it's just...
They get their offense in gear. Maybe it's just the fantasy side of me talking, since I had Devin Singletary, but they need to run it with him way more. I mean, run it with Devin so much.
Were the Texans really that much of a better team?
Their offense is better. Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, definitely.
I always feel like Deshaun Watson's like a not as good sidekick to Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's kind of like he's there, but he's not Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
He came first and had a really good year, but no one's Lamar Jackson. Not this year, anyway.
That's true. Saints, Vikings. Whoa, talk about a matchup. You got that game in 2018 where the Vikings scored at the last minute against the Saints, and everyone thought, can they do it again?
Is that the one with Brett Favre?
No, 2018.
Oh, 2008.
I believe it was Stephon Diggs. Ran it all the way back at the last minute, and they ended up beating the Saints. So everyone was like, can the Vikings do it again? Saints, obviously, like one of the good favorites all regular season. They were my pick to go to the Super Bowl. I had the Saints, Ravens were my overall Super Bowl pick. And Saints are already out, so mine's been thrown up in the air. I mean, ultimately, I was gonna go with the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. They are my pick for the Super Bowl. It's just hard to go against Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, but the Saints I thought were gonna easily walk over the Vikings, and I don't know. I kind of thought Mike Zimmerman's job was on the line if they lost. I mean, he could have very easily been tossed. I mean, I don't know. What's your thought on that matchup?
I thought the Saints were going to win just off the top, but when I saw Dalvin Cook was back and playing healthy, I was like,
that's right, he returned.
That was a big deal for them, being able to run it. Other than that, I mean, it was a close game, so...
Who's the backup they had? Who's the backup for Dalvin Cook? I know he was playing at the beginning.
They have a couple. They had Amir Abdullah, Mike Boone, Alexander Madison.
Yeah, that's who it is. Because he had a good couple weeks at the end of the season and replaced for Dalvin Cook.
Mike Boone's my favorite player. He only scored 3 points against me and got me crowned 3-time in our fantasy league.
We'll get to fantasy in a minute. Let's finish up the playoffs. Seahawks. We had Seahawks and Eagles. I didn't think the Eagles were going to show up at all. And Carson Wentz, what a shocker. Went down injured in the middle of the game. But it was a nasty hit. Did you see the hit?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little absurd.
Bounced his head off.
I mean, he's going to the ground. He dives his head in. I mean, did they make it? Did they rule anything on that?
I don't think it was purposeful. It was definitely...
You think it was purposeful?
You think when he went and made that hit, he's like, I'm going to drive his head into the turf.
Did you see the head movement?
I don't think that's what he tried to pull out to do.
I don't know. The head went in like it was trying
in slow motion.
I don't
know. Never looks that good. How's it going, guys?
Good. I don't know.
Yeah, help it out?
No, just gonna check it out.
Anything, just let me know.
Thanks.
Again, you're watching Behind the Counter podcast right here at Insane Games TV. Streamed live on Twitch, Insane Games TV _ We're also live on Facebook Gaming. So make sure you check us out and follow us on both. Talking Seahawks and Eagles. Yeah, I didn't think the Eagles were going to walk out of that one.
I'd probably say that was the easiest game to call out of all four of those.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I thought the Seahawks, I thought the Eagles, I kind of had that Eagles had the fly Eagles fly momentum sometimes where they can get that luck behind them and they sail off like they did with the Nick Foles and I actually kind of thought of it for a minute when Carson Wentz went down. Like, maybe they'll call up who's the backup?
Nick Foles.
No. Who's the Foles who's the backup now?
Well, it's Josh McCown.
McCown, who's like 40-something years old, comes in, which he's a decent quarterback. Did they really lose because of him?
Extremely washed up.
Somewhat, but they come in as maybe they'll have some of that luck on their side and they'll go off and grab a win and sail further into the playoffs with the luck on their side. But nope, Seahawks shut the door on that. Game over. At home, the Eagles, which I'll never really. I guess the Seahawks are 11-2 and didn't get home field advantage, but I get why they lost. It's still kind of, it just was whatever. So you had the Eagles that were home, they lost. You had New England home, they lost. You had the Saints home, they lost, and you had the Texans almost lost at home. So almost all the home teams walked out with a loss, except for the Texans.
I would have liked to see the Cowboys in that spot instead of the Eagles. I think they would have done better than the Eagles. Would have been a more interesting game.
Then who?
The Eagles versus the Seahawks.
The
Eagles and them had, I think they had the same record, but the tiebreaker went to the Eagles. So.
And of course, you had the other teams that were on a bye this week. You had Green Bay, you had the Chiefs, you had the 49ers, and you had the Baltimore Ravens. Out of those 4 teams, who do you like? Obviously, probably the Ravens. How can you bet against Lamar Jackson? But then again, how can you bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? I don't know. Does he still have the momentum as he had a couple years? What I like
the Titans might not be an easy beat either.
I like all the stories of all these teams. I think all the teams that really didn't need to be in the playoffs got eliminated. I would have liked to see the Saints over the Vikings, but I think the Seahawks clearly over the Eagles. The Bills over the Texans. I like to see the Texans move forward. And I'm actually kind of glad New England's out. Let's get a new team into the Super Bowl. Let's try to get some fresh. I kind of like the top 4 stories. I like the Chiefs. I like the Ravens. I like the 49ers. Of course, you have Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So I think you have a lot of. We have the chance to see.
Got Fat Boy with the chain going off in there.
About what? Really, Mike, the Eagles just beat Dallas literally 2 weeks ago.
Dallas can either hit or miss. Pretty sure they beat the bricks off the Eagles the first time they played. So
I don't know. I don't think the Eagles should be.
They almost beat them to death the first time they played.
So you think Dallas would have been better than the Eagles?
Birds suck.
There you go. Yeah, but the Birds suck. But I get, I don't know. The Dallas does have some, you got Dak Prescott, and you got Zeke Elliott over there. You got,
well, that's why they got rid of that stupid coach.
Shit, who's the wide receiver?
Amari Cooper.
You got some lineups there. Let's dive right into that. Big news coming out of today across all channels. Mike McCarthy, formerly from Green Bay Packers, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys now. They wanted some experience, which I think it's a great pick. I like Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy should have been with either the Giants or the Cowboys. If you're Dak Prescott, what is hiring a coach out of college going to do for Dak Prescott? Nothing. You got a young quarterback who is signing outside of his rookie contract next season, or this season, next season really. So he needs to be with a legendary, experienced coach with Super Bowl history, and I think Mike McCarthy brings it to the table.
The only legendary history he has is being carried by good quarterbacks like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know about that.
That's what one could say.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. I think he was one of the better options out there.
Right.
Who else are they going to sign? That has as much of a experience or a track record as McCarthy, but we'll see.
So you have
that breakup was kind of ugly there with Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers. The tension between Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers the last 2 years were well known. It's been well reported at this point.
And then Green Bay goes 13-3 this year without him.
It's true. Yeah.
So we'll
see if he needs help. But Mike's checking on some of our customers. Again, you're watching Behind the Counter podcast right here. Insane Games TV _ on Twitch. We're also live now on Insane Games TV on Facebook Gaming. If you missed any of this podcast or need to see any of our content after, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Insane Games TV. We were also on Instagram, Insane Games TV, all one word. Make sure you check out Twitter, Insane Games TV. And make sure you check out our channel all week. We have a lot of content, as we talked about earlier in this program. We got a lot of content on our channel now. Behind the counter looking a little different than what it used to look like back in the day. We got a lot of new stuff going on here at Insane Games TV. We got Monday Night Gaming. Later tonight we have Retro Monday. Mike playing a little Mike Tyson's Punch Out right here on the channel for Retro Monday. And we got Nerd Glasses Podcast tomorrow. We got the Citadel tomorrow with Boder. We got a lot of different stuff going on here. And of course on Wednesday we have Ring the Bell, No Look. We have Weekend Wednesday with Dave. We got a lot of different stuff going on here. That's all for Wednesday here on the channel. Thursday we got the Thirsty Thursdays with AC Weezy. Of course we got the Duty Calls, Hunt for Number One stream. That's on Friday, playing Call of Duty. Then we got, of course, Insane Games Live throughout the weekend. We have special streams of that Saturday and Sunday as we watch some of the playoff games and obviously stuff going around here on the channel. So make sure you check us out throughout the week. And as we move forward, as we get further into January and moving forward, we got a bunch of different stuff that's coming out for the channel. We got a new stream called 2v Tuesdays coming out. The Dream Team. We have a Minecraft stream that's going to be coming out relatively soon. So all we're doing is keep adding content here on the channel. So make sure you check us out. Give us a follow on any of the platforms I discussed before. To kind of finish up with the football talk, predictions here for the playoffs. As Mike joins us back again. What do you got here for the playoff picture, Mike? What do you think we have moving forward?
Run me through the matchups one more time. I mean, obviously the Ravens are going to go all the way, so that's got AFC side covered up.
Right.
So I guess that one leaves the NFC.
I don't know. Who do you think comes out of the NFC? Do you think the 49ers?
The Niners and Packers are looking good. That's really a toss-up. What do you think about the Vikings looking revitalized? Do you think they could take the Niners? That could be a big deal.
I don't think the Saints have any chance, or I don't think the Vikings have any chance against the 49ers. So to kind of recap, you have Baltimore, Tennessee. You really think Tennessee Titans? Okay. You have Kansas City, Houston. Come on, Kansas City. You have Green Bay, Seattle. I don't know who comes out of that one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. And then you got San Francisco, Vikings, 49ers. So I mean, right off the bat, who's your top four?
Top four?
Who do you think your final four is?
Ravens.
I'm gonna grab a pen. I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah, write them down.
Who you got?
So Ravens, Kansas City. I'm gonna go Vikings over the Niners.
Yeah, Ravens. Who you got?
Kansas City.
KC.
And then my one upset, because I'm picking probably the top dogs, is Vikings. And for the last one, Green Bay.
So you are expecting the number one seed to get eliminated. Wow, at the NFC.
They looked good.
Yikes. I don't know if I agree with you on that. I'm going to go Ravens. I agree with you on that one. Ravens, I think KC for sure. I'm gonna go basics. I think it's gonna be basic. I think it's gonna be 49ers, and then I think I'm going Seahawks. I'm gonna do one against you. Seahawks, I don't know. I think they have a team that could move, could not move. I don't know. So to recap, Mike has Ravens, Kansas City, Vikings, Green Bay. Dan is going with Ravens, Kansas City, 49ers, Seahawks. So you and I have two different picks for the top four. So we'll recap what gets for next week.
Actually, a little more.
And Mike's goes into that. We got some. We got some cool themes traded in here. Earlier yesterday, we had supernatural. We had a supernatural baby with Sam pop. This pop retails for $80 on Pop Price Guide. Kind of absurd. We always get supernatural people coming in looking for stuff. This might be one. I think one of the first supernatural pops we've ever gotten here at the store.
Thanks a lot.
Kind of a surprise there. It's a Chase Edition Hot Topic exclusive. $80 on that bad boy. Dave had his eyes all over this one, Mike. John Wick, the bloody John Wick, Chase limited edition. This retails.
That is a cool one.
This retails for $70 on Pop Price Guys. So we're obviously selling it $69.99. Kind of absurd if you see that. John Wick, obviously fresh off of the John Wick 3 movie. So that's, and of course, Keanu Reeves is all popular
Actually,
now.
it says Chapter 2 on it, man.
But I'm saying after the movie. Everyone's looking for the movie stuff. And then I got, now this is an interesting one. The Stinkor Pop scented. Dave actually opened it. Smells like, why would you do that? Come on. Why would you do that on the camera, you fool? Scented. So it actually
What's it smell like?
I don't know. Dave opened it up and smelled it, but I don't know if there's actually a smell. There's a smell.
Does it smell like a skunk?
No, not really. It smells like just awful plastic.
I was doing some research online, and they said it's supposed to smell exactly like the old toy smell in the day.
Yeah, I can see that, the old toy smell. Smells awful. That's the retails for $40. Those are some cool pops we got in yesterday. Now that Mike's back on this set, let's get into pop culture.
You want to pop a C on my laptop?
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Star Wars, hit the mute button, go to a different channel. We're talking Star Wars for a minute, so Star Wars talk. So Mike, I'm gonna defer to you first because you're obviously the much bigger Star Wars fan than I am.
Dan's not actually a Star Wars fan.
Not in my opinion.
Why don't I sit down there and you will give me a mucho mango and Mike will talk about Star Wars.
Immediately getting up to get you a
God.
Grab me a Red Bull while
Dancy.
you're there.
No.
Let's go.
How much are Red Bulls?
$2.75.
Actually, give me a Red Bull as well.
I'm not buying 2 Red Bulls.
It's cheaper. It's actually more efficient.
There's a
No,
deal.
it's not.
There's
It's
a
a
You're
deal.
dollar
actually
for a
wasting
mango.
money
He
by
gives you a
not
deal
getting
if you
two.
get two.
It's really.
It's not a deal if you get 2. A mucho mango is $1.
Dan, we're wasting time here. We're trying to talk Star Wars.
And your thing is what? $3?
$2.75.
So I gotta go over $6 by 2 Red Bulls?
No, it's gonna be $5 because he's gonna give you a deal on it.
I'm walking over the 5, and he better get me a deal.
He knows
if I
I
come
like
back here
those.
and it's more than 5, there's gonna be a problem.
Who are your football picks? Is this what you guys are doing?
Yeah. So say you want to add yours.
No,
while you're
actually,
here?
don't tell me. I'll say mine and then I could guess what yours
Let
were.
me write them down.
Obviously, looking at them here, Minnesota rolls. I'd be intrigued to see what the spread is. Let me put the spread on. I don't know why you guys are guessing games without spreads involved. I don't know what
Pure
is going
soul.
on.
Pure soul.
So the spread is not included in these. These are just straight pick'ems you're doing?
Yeah, straight
That's
pick
kind of
them.
bullshit, but...
Those two would win.
Dan's laptop is pretty good.
I think it's a touch screen.
Is it? You son of a bitch. Not bad. I like the Vikings straight up, so jot them down, but I do want to see what the spread is.
And what's the other one? Seattle, Green Bay.
Ravens are... Alright, so the Niners are 6-point favorites. 6.5-point favorites. I would take the Vikings all day. I like the Ravens, obviously, to roll. I like the Chiefs to roll. And I like the Packers to roll.
Well, your and I's pick are exactly the same.
But this is where probably me and yours are going to get messy. I'm taking the Packers, and I'm clearly taking the Chiefs all day long against the
We
Ravens.
have the same ones.
You're taking the... You don't think the Ravens
Oh,
will
wait,
make
we're
the Super
going
Bowl?
on? Yeah, okay.
I'm talking
we're
about
going
the
on.
conference. I'm taking Packers
No.
rolling. Packers will roll over
I think
the
the
Vikings
Ravens beat
at
the Chiefs.
Lambeau.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's sleeping on the Chiefs for some reason. I like them against an inexperienced playoff quarterback all day long.
So Mahomes is experienced also?
He was in it last
He's
year.
got
He
one-
made it to goddamn
he's
conference
got-
championship.
Lamar played in the playoffs last year.
He didn't make it as far as Patty Mahomes did.
They have an equal amount of experience in them.
Did he play in the playoffs?
A little bit. I know Joe Flacco got benched. I'm pretty sure Ravens made playoffs last year. Let's say, look it up. Fact check me, but I'm pretty sure they have the same amount of experience. Except Lamar is like 80 times better than he was last year.
Yeah, and people think Patty Mahomes just sucks now for some reason. I don't know
I didn't
what's
say
going
that.
on. Yeah, but you
I don't
think
think
he
it's going to be a
sucks.
blowout.
You think he sucks. They lost in the playoff or in the wild card against the Chargers, man. The Chargers.
It's come a long way since then.
Who does Dan take?
Just his picks are wild.
I can't even read his.
What do you mean my picks are wild?
Jot that down. I'm taking them. It's really kind of bullshit that we're not incorporating the spread in this, to be honest.
Guy gave me attitude for because it's 550.
Did he?
Yeah. He goes, who told you that? And I didn't throw you under the bus. I almost did.
Well, did he do it for 5?
Yeah.
Seahawks, Packers 4. I'm still taking the Packers. Houston Chiefs 9.5. That is tempting to go with the Texans. But in a straight up play, you can't.
I think Mahomes is just going to go butt crazy on the Texans defense like last time.
The fucking 8 ounce?
Are
you serious?
You want 16 ounce?
You had to pay $5.50 for the not 12 ounces down there? That is a scam.
For 2 of them. It's $2.75
It's 2 for
for one.
$5 at like mobile.
They are.
Well, he got him to hook it
Our
up.
prices used to be way better.
He got him to hook it up.
Slide over.
Hook it up.
He had to negotiate the 2 for 5.
Slide this right there. Come on, I'll just see you.
So I've got Vikings. Do you have this written down?
Yep.
Vikings, Chiefs, Ravens, Packers. And then I've got the Packers and Chiefs rolling to the Super Bowl. Don't copy my picks now, boy.
How's he any different than mine?
He had the same exact as me, but then we differed about who's going to win the next round. Because I obviously have the Ravens going all the way, but he has the Ravens losing to the Chiefs the next week.
I don't think the Ravens are losing. I think they're going all the way.
I mean, I think I agree with the Packers because the Packers are the Vikings' daddies. So
In Lambeau.
if everything lines up how it
If the
comes,
Vikings beat the Niners and they go to Lambeau, Kirk Cousins in the snow, he's going to get smoked. He's going to get smoked.
So yeah,
It's going to be a smoke show.
it's either Packers and
And I
Chiefs.
think the Packers would roll over the Niners too. Watch, they get destroyed by Seattle.
I mean, yeah, that's probably their hardest matchup, I think, going forward, is this one this week. But
So are we getting into the Star Wars talk here or what?
we had to catch Tommy up, and we had to get a little Red Bull in the veins first.
Am I supposed to lead the Star Wars? I don't even know what
You
we're talking
kicked
about.
me onto the
I
curb.
wasn't sure if you were done.
I wasn't.
Are
I'm
you
not
done with
completely
your sports
satisfied
now?
with football.
So what's your thoughts on the Eagles losing? I know you're giving Mike.
They fucking lost their quarterback on the first series.
I went and looked it up over there. The last time the Cowboys played before that in the Eagles, the Cowboys beat the Eagles 37-10. So they're equal this year, except the Cowboys beat the shit out of them once.
And the
And the
Eagles
Eagles
won when
barely
they. And the Eagles won when they needed to win.
Does it really matter?
It does matter because if the Cowboys won, they would have been in. The Cowboys literally all they had to do was go there and win, and the next week wouldn't have mattered. And they went in there and they lost.
I think what matters is that it was
And they
a
lost.
game.
What?
The thing that matters is that it was in Philly.
Okay.
Anywhere else, the Cowboys would take their cheeks.
Anywhere else, there's only 2 spots it could have been. It's a regular season
And
game.
the other spot, they took their cheeks.
Okay. And the other, what does that even mean? They won.
So you got.
They're a better
I hate
team.
Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys coach.
You do?
Ezekiel Elliott is going to be no longer anywhere close to being a threat.
Why?
He's going to be terrible.
Because of Mike McCarthy?
Yeah,
I guess
he's
if you look
terrible
at
at
any of
running
the
backs.
Packers running backs,
What?
I can't think of any that were good under his rule.
Eddie Lacy sucked.
Isn't Mike McCarthy more of a defensive
Eddie
coach
Lacy's a
anyway?
fat bastard.
What?
Isn't Mike McCarthy a defensive coach?
No.
He's an offensive coach?
What are you talking about, man?
I thought Mike McCarthy's specialty is defensive coach.
I don't think so. He's like a quarterback guru. Let me confirm that.
I thought his background was
I actually don't know much.
was in more defensive.
Like I
than
said,
it
the
was.
only thing I know him for is getting carried by Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's a great pick. I think he can carry. I think he can help carry Dak Prescott.
Fucking goddamn guy was a quarterback in college.
Who? Mike McCarthy?
He's not even giving you any response for that. He gave you the hand and that's it.
Alright, what do you want to talk about Star Wars? That it sucked?
I guess we can start with overall
Spoiler
grade.
alert. Again, if you're watching, we're getting into the
If you haven't
Star
seen
Wars.
Star Wars at this point,
I agree.
I'll keep it to myself, the explicit I was about to say, but...
So you get the
So
Off my chair,
you don't
man.
fall off the camera.
Off my chair.
First off, it's my chair.
my chair.
If this becomes a regular thing where we're doing this, I insist that Dan stands the entire time right there. He doesn't get a chair, not even a stool. He must stand the entire time.
Don't sit on here either.
I almost thought about it. I was going to sit there originally. Then I'd be blocking the TV. So, what thoughts on Star Wars? You two are much bigger Star Wars.
Overall grade first.
I would give it. What did I say in the theater?
I think you gave it a 6 when
I
we
gave it a
left the
6
theater.
when I walked out, and I would probably keep it at a 6.
I'm generally more kind. I gave it like a 7 point. I said 7 to 8
I
right
don't
after
really
watching
feel
it,
anything
but
when I think about it. I'm just happy those movies are over and they can do something else now.
I rounded
That's
back
just-
down to a 7 after I let it sit for a little bit. Just
It was-
too fast, the
It
story
was just
pace.
too fast. They jammed like 2 movies worth of story into it. I don't have really much to say about it. I'm happy it's over.
But I
to be
like
honest.
the choices they make, some of the choices they made, how they went about it, maybe not, but all in all, how it went is acceptable to me.
I was pleased, but I don't know.
I mean,
Let me put it this way: the way I look at that movie is like Endgame. And Endgame was so much goddamn better than that movie, wasn't it? I mean, I was thoroughly enjoyed throughout Endgame. The entire thing, I was like, this is such a good movie. The entire thing,
I
the
guess if
final
you compare it
battle,
to that,
like
it's
that's how
pretty-
I look at it. It's
it's
like
pretty
Endgame,
tough,
and it's
yeah.
like it's nowhere even close to it. Nowhere even close.
no scene like the Captain America with
No
the hammer.
scene like that with the hammer. No Avengers Assemble. The hammer was so sick with the lightning.
You don't think Kylo pulling Anakin's lightsaber out behind his back?
A little bit.
Doing the little
A little.
Han Solo
Side note,
shrug.
did we have a podcast? Was Behind the Counter going live when Endgame came out? I don't think it was.
Did we?
Our last episode, I think, was the 17th of April.
Maybe we talked Infinity Wars. But maybe I'm
Maybe,
not
I
sure if
don't
we
know.
talked Endgame.
Let's move on to the more important thing on this list. You. Great show.
Can I,
And I'm gonna
can I get
take
my
the
analysis
poll.
of Star
I'm
Wars?
gonna take. Oh, come on. All right.
As an average Star Wars viewer, I would probably give it an 8.5.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I skipped over.
I was a joke.
Okay.
I
He
would
is a
probably
lover.
say like
He's not a lover. He just doesn't understand it.
I would
He's like,
probably
he sees
say-
lightsabers and he's like, oh, yep, that's an 8.
I would probably say it was like a. I was gonna go like 7.5.
This is coming from the same guy that said Mandalorian looks stupid. I'm not gonna watch it.
I have no interest
Exactly.
in watching Mandalorian.
Exactly.
The fact of the matter is, out of all of them, I thought the second one, The Last Jedi, is stupid. And I said before, that's a movie that should have been an hour. We didn't need to go through all the stuff that it showed. All the stuff in the middle was just, you didn't need to know all that. It was just like, okay,
Not sure if
whatever.
that's my,
Okay, that movie could
You
have.
agree with me, Mike?
That film could have been condensed down to an hour. I thought the last one was okay. I thought it summed up. The only thing I didn't like is I like villains, and I thought they made Kylo Ren out to be a bitch the entire movie at the end, with his whole not knowing what he wants to do, the crying, and then no, sorry, not interested.
Are you talking Last Jedi? Or are you talking? We've hammered Last Jedi here.
No, I'm not.
He's
I'm talking about the last.
I thought he was absurd. He choked that guy, sent him up to the ceiling. I thought he was being outrageous.
The problem is
I
at the
thought he was being
beginning.
outrageous.
I liked him walking in. Do you like my
He
new helmet?
slaughtered,
Like I thought.
He slaughtered like 10 people right at the beginning of the movie. It was a goddamn
And then he beat
bloodbath.
all the Knights of Ren to death by himself.
Then what did he do after?
He died.
Walk around without his suit on and plain clothes. Get
He was
out of
Ben
here!
Solo at that point.
Get out of here!
He got the wettest chick in the galaxy, and then he died.
Can we talk about you? Have you finished it?
I finished it
Did
all.
you finish it?
Spoiler: we're talking about you now, people watching.
Did you finish it?
No, I'm being conservative. I'm only on episode 3 of
I'm
season
on
2.
episode 4. Or I finished episode 4. I'm going
I
in this
abused
episode
that.
5.
Okay, so let's
So
talk about
hard.
just season 1.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about it? I thought season 1 was phenomenal.
You have
let's
to
keep
wind
going.
it back a little bit because they got the.
I proposed this show to everyone, and everyone said they'd rather die
I don't
than
know about
watch
that.
it. You
I
said
was
you'd
a-
rather die. You
I
said
was
you'd rather die.
immediately intrigued.
I don't remember
You
that.
said this show that's exactly like Dexter. Actually, you blamed it on someone. You said maybe their taste might not intrigue you, but I was just like, Okay.
I said it was Dexter, but a love story. I was like, that might not really intrigue you, but I
believe
love
the word you told me was soap opera.
What?
I believe what you told me is
I
soap
think
opera.
it's a bit like a modern soap opera, like this Candace chick coming back.
With a serial
from the
killer
dead.
in it?
I don't know. That was maybe an off the cuff remark, but you don't consider it Dexter, but a love story, kind of. It's like a romantic show, kind of, but also Dexter.
I mean, if you find stalking and murder, romantic in a love story.
There was certainly romantic moments
just
throughout
go
it.
over the
Don't be an asshole.
Can we just go over the absurdness of Joe Goldberg running behind Peach in the park? Like he's like
That was probably my one complaint.
I'm just like she doesn't turn around
He
and
was
see
running
him
like
there.
10 yards behind him. That was absurd.
I'm just like, and they constantly showed it. It wasn't like it just happened once. It was like over and over. They knew it was absurd and they continued to show it.
All he does is he puts his little hat on and nobody knows who he is. He'll go in the bar and sit 10 feet away and hear every word somebody says, but once he has that hat on...
I almost stopped watching. I almost didn't watch season 2 at all after the ending of season 1. So absurd. Didn't see it coming. I thought it ruined it. And I don't know.
Ruined it. I thought it was alright.
Did you see that coming?
It was going to end.
Did you see it coming, or did you think she'd at least be in a season 2?
Or someone going to jail.
I assume that
that's a very reasonable conclusion to that.
She's a main star, one of the main people. I didn't think she'd be
eliminated. You didn't see that coming by the time it happened. I don't know.
Well, I saw it coming by the time it happened.
First
off, the finale was ruined because I went in to watch it and I clicked on the last episode and it picked up where whatever was last left off and it showed him grabbing her in the body bag. I'm like, whatever, ruined. And I was like, whatever. So I knew right off the bat I did not know when she saw the box that it was the end with her dying. I was wondering like how are they gonna get out of this one? Because I'm one of those ones where you're one of the main stars. You're gonna be there for season 2. So it's kind of like I didn't think they're gonna kill her. Whatever.
It's all about Joe.
It's all about Joe.
It's all about Will.
All about Joe.
It's not Will. It's Joe.
Well, we're talking season 1 right now, dude.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
What do we got next? Gaming. Since Behind the Counter ended, a lot of stuff's come out with PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Are we shitting on Xbox Series X or what? Or is it worth getting?
I'll
get it. I think the name's pretty stupid.
I'm going to wait a little bit. I always get taken to the woodshed with Xbox.
What are you considering a PS5?
Oh, no, I'm just saying I'm not going to get the first. I'll wait till they make the slim one that they always make.
You're going to wait till they make the slim one? Really? No, you won't.
Tired of
There's no way you'll wait. You will get it for Christmas.
They shit on the first customers that come through, the
You
day
will
one
not
buyers, and then later on they're like, oh, and then we have this one that's way better than that.
They are not.
We didn't have no idea that was coming.
There's no way you go a year without getting the Series X.
I just got my Series 2 controller. The Xbox One X is still pretty powerful. I could wait.
To be honest, they're definitely going to keep making games for the X. It's not like they're just going to stop making games for Xbox One. I don't find that to be the case. What else we got on there? Anything else? As we wrap up here?
What's in your disc tray, Dan?
Oh, we're all playing Call of Duty. Besides me forgetting it last night, I was super pissed.
We might got in a lot of hours.
Yeah, we were not upset that you couldn't make it last night.
It's not about hours anymore. I think it's been mastered. Now it's.
I have come to embrace the car.
He said he was going to bench you on the Insane Games team, and he was trying to embarrass me before you got here.
I didn't say I was going to bench him.
I
said there may be a tryout for the next tournament for Insane Games TV.
He was attacking me relentlessly.
I will destroy anyone in this tournament. Call of Duty. Would you like to get on the sticks and try it?
You couldn't
try your luck.
You couldn't destroy anyone else in the last one.
Try your luck.
In what?
1v1.
You'll lose in 1v1 right now.
No, I won't.
We can't. There's no barrier. Screen peeking at its best.
Excuses.
Well, I have been playing Sekiro.
You've been playing what?
Which is a pretty much like a Japanese Dark Soul with a samurai. It's pretty wet. Pretty wet. Can you say that?
Nope. I don't think you said it right.
Sekiro.
Did you say it
Shadows
right?
die twice.
Say it, Dan.
Say it.
What is it? I don't.
It's Sekiru.
Sekiru.
I don't even think I
Say it without the accent. You have to say it with the
Oh,
accent.
Sekiro?
Sekiru.
Sekiro. Shadows die twice.
The subtitle gets it. Sekiri.
Whatever.
Very
man.
white game.
What is this drawings in the back?
Yeah.
I was getting
Mike
mad
drawing.
at Dan erasing my pictures my artwork.
Mike's drawing absurd things on the
Was it
drawing board in the
Leader
back.
Our store superhero.
At any time, there could be someone that goes into my office in
Did
the
you
bag,
draw
and
one
it's just
recently?
absurd.
You can see he just keeps erasing.
Neither man.
It's
Was that
absurd.
too absurd for the stream? I guess so, probably. We'll have to stay behind scenes.
Sekiri.
Sekiro.
All right. Anything else for Behind the Counter before we wrap up? So again, this is the return of Behind the Counter, the 2020 first episode. Make sure you watch us live on Insane Games at Twitch at Insane Games TV _, and you can watch this episode if you miss any of it Behind the Counter at our YouTube channel, Insane Games TV. Make sure also you can catch us live on Facebook Gaming. So right now, anything here at Insane Games TV, it broadcasts it live on Twitch or Facebook Gaming. For Mike, Tom, and I, got anything else before we close out? Retro Monday is up next with Mike playing a little Mike Tyson's Punch-Out right here on the NES. So that is going to, don't go too far, that's going to be coming up in a few minutes. Then to close out tonight, we got AC Weezy doing a little Monday Night Gaming. He'll go over all the NFL highlights from this past weekend, all the playoff games, and his thoughts and analysis of what happened this weekend, and so on. He'll also be playing a little bit of Call of Duty, so make sure you check him out. Monday Night Gaming. Make sure you come right back here tomorrow for the Nerd Glassing Podcast with our friend and your friend, Dave Mann, and our good old buddy behind the scenes, Boater, as they talk about the best games of 2019. Also, relations between video games and movies and what their favorite movie, video game / combo is. Can you think of one off the top of your head? Video game / movie?
Combo?
The Witcher is a TV show, but is The Witcher off of video games?
An actually good one?
It's off a book.
Is it off a book?
The
The
game is off
actually
a book.
good one, and I'll leave it on that, is the Mortal Kombat movie. The wettest video game movie. Only the first one.
Little
the second one
absurd.
sucked.
Annihilation's not good.
No, that one sucked.
So this is Behind the Counter signing off for our first episode of 2020. We're back. Stay tuned next week when we come back right here, 5:30 on Instant Game TV. Retro Monday's up next, and we'll see you next week. Hit the off live button.
You're not going to give